Hi, what's up? Welcome to another tutorial on MindsDB. So today we will try to predict whether a person can be diagnosed with a heart disease or not based on certain conditions. Now for that, let's try to fetch the data from a MySQL database. So I've already uploaded the data into MySQL and we use MindsDB to connect to the database and retrieve the data. And for that, let's start with connecting to the database. So we'll use a sample code from Learning Hub, and here we'll change few parameters. So let's call this database connection as patients data, and the engine will be MySQL, and the parameters. Yeah, so these are the connection parameters like your normal host name, username, password, and to which database are you connecting to. So that's a normal test database what I created. Now let's run this. So we can see the patient's data has been successfully created. Now let's check the results of the patient's data from the heart disease table. So this table is present in the MySQL. So we are referring to the table name that's already present in the MySQL. And we will limit the results to 10. Now let's run this. Okay, unknown constant type. Oh, I forgot to write from. Now let's run this. Now we can see the results. This is the data that's fetched from the MySQL database, and here we are trying to predict on the column heart disease. Now let's try to create or train our model on this data. So for that, I can refer to a sample code, and here we are creating a predictor, and let's call the predictor name as heart disease predictor. And we are connecting to patient's data, and we want to get the data from the table. That's heart disease. And we want to predict on the column again heart disease. So here heart underscore disease is the table name, whereas heart disease is the column name. Now let's run this. Yeah, so we can see the query has successfully completed. Now let's check the status of the predictor. For this, we will again try to query from the predictors table. The predictors table contains all the predictors with their status. So here we can see heart disease predictor is currently under generating status. So let's give it a couple of more seconds so that it will switch to training, and then after finishing it, we will see how we can do inferencing on MindsDB. Now let's again rerun this. Yeah, now the status has switched to training. Yeah, so now we can see the training has completed and we have got an accuracy of 84.6%. Now to predict, simply we can fetch the data from the AI table that we have just created. Now what's AI table? AI table is nothing but the predictors name. Now here we will try to define some constraints. Let's say age is 80 and we have the gender to be male. Now let's try to predict only on the partial input. So we have like bunch of columns, like 6 to 7 columns, but MindsDB would be able to predict based on only few data points. So here we are just giving two values. Yeah, so you can see the chest pain is null, resting BP is null, but whereas we have got values for age and sex, and let's see what's the predicted heart disease. Now it shows it's one, so this person is probable to be diagnosed with a heart disease. And here we also have like nice stats, like what's the confidence at what confidence level is our model predicting the score to be one, and the probability class, some nice interesting meta info where it could be helpful for further diagnosis. Now, if we want to compare the predicted values with the actual values, we can simply join the AI table with the dataset. For that, we can do simply like this. So first, let's connect to the add this table, and let's call this as HT. We'll be joining this on the predictor table. And sorry, I just forgotten the name. Yeah, it's Disease Predictor. As let's call this HP. Let's try to limit these results up to 20. Now let's get the predict sorry the actual value. We will get the predicted value. We will also try to output the parameters, only few parameters. Now let's run this. Yeah, so we can see the actual values and predicted values upon, and these are only like the partial parameters that I have outputted. But when it tries to infer, so it considers the other column values also, and then try to predict whether that person is prone to have a heart disease or not. So in this way, we can try to compare the actual values to the predicted values. So I hope you have learned something today. So for other MindsTV tutorials or videos, you can just check the description of this video. And yeah, have an enjoyable day. Thank you.